You think you know Constantine, are you sure? The 2005 cult classic starring Keanu Reeves may have shown you demons, half-breeds, and even hell itself, but some scenes didn't make it into the final version and are instead included in the special features on the DVD/Blu-ray. They really highlight the darker, deeper, and more disturbing aspects of the movie. Stick around because today we're diving into every deleted scene from Francis Lawrence's directorial debut, 2005's Constantine. Before we get into our explanation though, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to the channel. This is a small click for you, but for us, it means a lot. Thank you. Let's begin.
Should have minded your own business.
The final cut, we know John Constantine is a paranormal investigator. When he was a child, he tried to take his own life because of the terrible things he saw. In his world, there are more than just normal things. Angels, demons, and even worse creatures lurk in the shadows, and John could see them all. These sights aren't meant for regular people. His only choice seemed to be suicide. He was dead for 2 minutes before paramedics brought him back to life. This attempt on his life sent him to hell and sent him on a journey to correct his one mistake. John visits the angel Gabriel after finding out that he has terminal lung cancer from smoking. He asks for more time to live because of all the demons he's exorcised. Gabriel declines his request, explaining that doing good deeds for selfish reasons won't save him from hell. In the film, Angela Dodson seeks the help of Constantine to find out what really happened to her twin sister who had died. Angela doesn't believe the official story that it was suicide because her sister was a devoted Catholic. She knows Catholics believe they go to hell if they take their own life. After some persuasion, Constantine agrees to help Angela. A man in Mexico finds the Spear of Destiny, historically linked to Jesus' crucifixion, wrapped in a Nazi flag, and he heads towards Los Angeles. Constantine investigates, discovering the demons are walking the earth despite a truce between heaven and hell, which normally only allows angels and demons in human vessels to do so. Constantine discovers the truth after losing friends and a visit to hell where Lucifer's son, Mammon, plans to come to Earth and create hell on Earth. He needs a psychic host and divine assistance. Angela reveals her sister, who was psychic, killed herself to stop Mammon. However, Angela shares this gift, making her the target of Mammon's ally, who kidnaps her to use in place of her sister. Constantine realizes that Mammon needs a divine ally, which is none other than Gabriel. This becomes more apparent when Constantine and his apprentice Chas discover Mammon attempting to flee from Dodson's abdomen. John and Chas try their level best to exorcise the demon from Angela's body, but an invisible force attacks and kills Chas. Constantine pulls the force from the shadows and learns it's Gabriel. She tells Constantine that she doesn't believe humanity has proven its worth to God and that they don't belong in his good graces. Helping Mammon bring hell to earth will push humans to fight for their lives, showcasing their nobility. However, this isn't what the creator intended. With Gabriel's creator absent, she quickly ejects Constantine and prepares to cut open Angela's abdomen with the Spear of Destiny. In the end, Constantine realizes the only way to thwart Mammon and Gabriel's plans is to kill himself. He slits his wrists, knowing he was already destined for hell due to a previous failed suicide. Before Lucifer can claim his soul, Constantine reveals his son and Gabriel's scheme. Lucifer bursts into the room, stopping Gabriel from using the Spear of Destiny on Angela. He burns off her wings and sends Gabriel back to hell as Mammon's ambitions conflict with Lucifer's plans for Earth. Afterwards, Lucifer asks Constantine what he wants in return, and John selflessly requests Isabel's release from hell to heaven. Lucifer agrees, but as he prepares to leave with John, a heavenly light envelops the investigator and pulls him upwards to heaven. Constantine's brave and selfless choice to save Isabel from endless suffering earned him a place in the afterlife. However, Lucifer doesn't easily let go of what is his. To stop John from getting what he desires most, Lucifer heals him by removing the tumors from his lungs. This gives John good health but keeps him alive, allowing him more time to jeopardize his chance at redemption and possibly return to hell. Now, that's the version people saw in theaters, but it's time we took a look at all the scenes that didn't make it to the final cut. Alternate opening. Post-suicide attempt hospital scene. This scene was originally meant to open the film before the Spear of Destiny's discovery in Mexico. The scene shows John waking up in a hospital after a failed suicide attempt when he was a teenager. Doctors try to save him. While he is clinically dead for a short time, he gets his first look at hell. The image of hell is inspired by old footage of nuclear tests, especially the shockwave after the blast that destroyed everything in its way. resulting in a crumbling landscape. Why was it not included? The opening scene was swapped out for the discovery of the Spear of Destiny in Mexico to kick things off with more action and mystery. The hospital scene felt too slow and deep for a movie that needed to dive right into the supernatural thriller vibe. Border Patrol scene. After one of the scavengers discovered the Spear of Destiny, he set off for Los Angeles. It can be presumed he's walking all the way from Mexico like a man possessed, which he is. The deleted scene depicts a scavenger making his way through a barbed wire fence to cross the border, only to be halted by Border Patrol officers. With guns drawn, they confront him, but what happens next is quite disturbing, which might have made audiences uncomfortable. We don't know what the possessed person showed to the officers, but they got on their knees, made the sign of the cross, and shot themselves in the mouth. CCTV surveillance of Isabel. We all know Angela Dodson has psychic abilities, and as seen in the movie, she's able to feel her twin sister's death as if she had seen it herself. 17 minutes into the film, we find Angela at the very spot where her sister met her tragic end. Her detective colleagues mention having surveillance footage that proves Isabel committed suicide. As Angela watches the footage, she sees her sister fall from the roof, which causes her to flinch. Just then, she feels a comforting hand on her shoulder. However, when she turns around, she discovers that her colleague and the other cops are standing quite far away from her. Although it's a brief moment, it could have added a more intense and thrilling atmosphere to the scene. Extended bowling alley scene. After a successful exorcism at the movie's beginning, we see Chas and John heading to Beeman's bowling alley, above which John lives. The scene shows more banter and dynamics between Constantine and Chas, his very appreciative apprentice and driver. However, it was trimmed due to pacing reasons and to bring together John and Angela's story. This scene can be seen in the special feature DVD/Blu-ray version. Extended Midnight Backstory. The scene we're talking about takes place in Midnight's nightclub, particularly after Constantine confronts him for help. What basically happens is that Papa Midnight, played by Digimon Honsu, tells Constantine about the balance between good and evil in more detail, referencing a past war among half-breeds and hinting at his own violent past. Midnight is described as a former soldier of both sides, which shows his neutral stance. It wasn't added, most likely to avoid over-explaining the mythology. The filmmakers wanted to keep the audience intrigued rather than overly informed. All scenes with Michelle Monahan. Michelle Monahan was initially set to star in the movie with a significantly larger role. She was cast as Ellie, a half-demon who was likely a succubus and was originally intended to be the love interest of the main character. However, the creators ultimately decided that the story would be stronger if Constantine were portrayed as more of a lone wolf without any romantic attachments in his life. In one of the deleted scenes, John seeks out Ellie after receiving his lung cancer diagnosis, asking her to stay alert for any updates related to an ancient artifact that might arise. A similar conversation occurs in another deleted scene where John visits an underground nightclub and encounters Ellie. It's worse that they brought Michelle back to film more scenes for the movie, only for those scenes to be cut too. One moment featuring Ellie can be seen in the movie when holy water sprays from a sprinkler system that John activates. Ellie's character is not named or directly mentioned in this scene. Ironically, Lauren said that this was her least favorite scene in line. However, it seems Monahan has no hard feelings. B-Man's secret lair and his death scene. Almost no one knows about these scenes, which were meant to be featured before B-Man dies. Constantine visits B-Man's hideout, a secret room filled with items and books. On a phone call, B-Man shares more information about Mammon, the occult, and the structural way hell is organized. B-Man is the one who gives Constantine relics and charms to fight off demons or forces that aren't supposed to run among humans. However, these relics and charms aren't explained in the final film. When the phone call disconnects, Angela and John come running to B-Man's hideout, only to find him dead and covered in all kinds of insects and flies. Unfortunately, this scene was cut due to time and budget constraints. The scene is mentioned in the tie-in comics and the novelization, but was never fully shown in the movie. Father Hennessy tearing down tin foils. This scene was also cut due to pacing reasons, and it involves Father Hennessy preparing himself to surf the ether for anything unusual. Now, if you don't know this, Father Hennessy has a rare ability to communicate with the dead, but he struggles to cope with all the voices he hears, so he drowns them by drinking alcohol. He's preparing to surf the ether, which is painful and scary for him. He's doing all of this because John asked him for a favor. During the prep, he's seen tearing down all the tinfoil to open himself up to communication. Angela running through the criminal records of John. In this deleted scene, Angela reviews John Constantine's arrest report. It states that he was born on September 2nd, 1966, is 6 feet and 1 inch tall, weighs 180 pounds, has black hair, brown eyes, a fair complexion, is single, and a U.S. citizen. The report says he was stopped for a broken taillight. During a search of his car, authorities found gun parts, a Bible, a crucifix, and water bottles that likely contained holy water. Eventually, they decided there was insufficient evidence to prosecute. Post-credit cemetery scene. Technically, this scene is included in the DVD/Blu-ray as a post-credit scene, but it's absent from many theatrical releases. After the final battle, some time passes before Constantine visits Chas's grave. He places his lighter on the tombstone and then walks away. Chas, played by Shia LaBeouf, appears as an angel with wings. He looks down at Constantine before flying off. The key takeaway from this scene that fans were buzzing about was Chas coming back as an angel and a potential Constantine sequel. In the after-credits scene, Chas wears the same outfit as Gabriel. This suggests he might take over the role of the creature who killed him. In the Bible, Gabriel acts as God's messenger on Earth, and Chas could do the same in the sequel. After God rejected Gabriel for trying to bring about the end of the world in Constantine, Chas can try to fix the mistakes of his predecessor. Marvelous verdict! And with that, we've come to the end of today's video. What are your thoughts? Should some of these scenes stayed in the film? Or was the studio right to cut them out? Let us know in the comments which deleted scenes blew your mind the most, or if there were any that you wish had made their way into the final cut. Until next time, remember, heaven and hell are watching, so make your decisions wisely. And speaking of wise decisions, if you enjoyed our content, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to us if you haven't already. Otherwise, thanks for watching, stay safe out there, and have a marvelous day.